My name is DJ Kurt, and I'm next up.
On the headline, I'm the subject. Beat down, I'm the main suspect. Was a few times I had to cut back. Now it's time to borrow, this a court check. Sleeves for the broke, they ain't know yet. Last year did it big, I'm up dead. I be getting to it cause I'm obsessed. Can't object that I'm up next. Up next, up next, up next, up next.
Hey, my name is DJ Kurt, they call me. And I'm originally from Adamsville, Atlanta, Georgia.
What initially drew you in the field of sound engineering, and what keeps you passionate about it today?
Well, my grandfather into the music business kind of influenced me to be into music, and it stemmed from there. And what made me want to stay in it was just the passion for it. I'm sorry. Is that what the question was? What the question was again? I'm sorry.
What initially drew you to the field of sound engineering? What keeps you passionate about it today?
Oh, to the sound engineering. Oh, okay. Alright, now with the sound engineering, what drew me into that was I was DJing for JT Money at the time. And, prior to DJing for JT Money, the only kind of thing I knew about the studio was I made records. Made my first record in '91 with Cool B. We was a group, Cool B and DJ Kurt. And, and then after that, I made the A-Town Players, being Twin Productions. Both times I was in the studio, but it was like a whole different ballgame back then, with the tapes, 2-inch tapes, reels, and, stuff like that. So when I met JT Money, I was DJing for him from '99 to 2001, and I guess around going into 2000, he bought some studio equipment, and so he started recording stuff out of his house. And he had this engineer coming back and forth to his house to engineer. And one day, him and his engineer fell out, and so I started trying to mess around with it, and I messed up some stuff. We lost some music and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I messed it up at first, but I kept at it, and I started engineering at this studio on Peter Street, OTS Records. That's Reggie Boylan. And so I started engineering there, and I met Cool Ace, my homeboy Cool Ace, and he introduced me to Mars Day, George Clinton, and Larry Blackman. I mean, actually, not all at once, but it was different times, different days. He actually brought the Mars Day to the studio, on Peter Street where I was. So, when I met Larry Blackman from Cameo, we hit it off, and we became real good friends to this day. And I've been doing sound for him from 2003 to now, to present. And I got a passion for it, brother. So that's that's the driver, you know what I mean, of that, So Yeah.
In your experience, what role does a great sound engineer play in the overall success of a live event or performance?
Okay, repeat. Say one more time.
In your experience, what role does a great sound engineer play in the overall success of a live event or performance?
Okay. Wow, that's a great question. I would say, knowing what you're doing. If you're doing it, that's number one. You gotta know what you're doing. I mean, but not necessarily. I take that. Rewind that. I take that back. It ain't know what because I was thrown out here. I was thrown out. LB threw me out there. I didn't know nothing about doing live sound at all. All I knew was studio. Can you imagine that? I'm working for Cameo, and we are headlining each show we do. He threw me out there, bro. I'm serious, man. But it was a thing where me and Larry Blackman, we just got this connection that we understand each other on that musical level, and I guess he just knew I would get it. You know what I mean? And I got it. Shit, I got it. And I had a lot of peers, a lot of friends of mine, such as Easy Lee, my man Easy Lee. He's DJ for Kool Moe Dee, and he introduced me to Kool Moe Dee, and now me and Kool Moe Dee are friends. You know, things of that nature. So anyway, Easy Lee, Eddie Irons. Eddie Irons used to play. He was the original drummer for Brick. Now he's the front house sound guy for Kool and the Gang. Used to be sound guy for Marlon Day, you know, and now he's Kool and the Gang. But these kind of friends taught me little tips and things in that nature. If they saw me doing certain things, they would say, "It's the easy way to," that type of thing. Kool and Dre. You know Kool and Dre?
Yeah, I do.
Kool and Dre. Big shout out to Kool and Dre. And specifically, Dre showed me some stuff on Pro Tools. It was back when I was with JT Money. When I was with JT Money, oh my God, I met everybody, man. Met a lot of people. We was on the Billboard Awards, all kind of stuff, man. So I met a lot of contacts. I remember meeting Busta Rhymes one time, and I told him, "Man, I do beats, man." Tiger, "Yeah, I do." He said, "Okay, yeah, man. Send me." He gave me the information. He said, "Send me the tracks and make sure it got a hook on it." He said, "Don't give me that New York stuff." Now this was back in '99. He said, "Don't give me that New York stuff. I want the down south stuff, and make sure there's a hook on it." I mean, MC Light, same thing. It's the same thing. Yeah. So, so that was a trip for me. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I mean, back then,
that's when music was music.
It was evolving.
Yeah.
It was like it's almost like they knew something before we knew anything.
Yeah.
It's almost like they was changing it.
Yeah, of course. Of course. The changeover.
Yeah.
All right. Could you share a specific example of a time where your expertise as a sound engineer had a significant impact on an outcome of a project?
Can I remember a time when I did some engineering that had a real impact on something? Well, when it comes to doing live, it's been a lot of times, a lot of moments that I might have been doing a sound check. Now this is maybe, okay, I've been with Cameo 20 years now. So that was 03. 20 years I've been with Cameo doing live sound. So I would say I got my thing like, oh my God, getting it around, I say 8 years in, something like that. Alright, so now it came a time where doing a sound check or something, and we had a show with maybe you say Zap or Confunction or you name it, all the artists. You would see them like starting to come behind and sit down and look at me and stuff, watch me and stuff, and I started seeing it, man. Like right there. It gave me a great feeling, you know what I mean? It made me feel good, like, made me feel like I was doing something right, you know what I mean? And from that, like for instance, SOS Band, they hired me, so I'm working for Cameo and SOS Band, and now I just took on Miss Mickey Howard, so and I love it. Kevin, man, when I tell you, man, I love being on the road, not to get away but for the work. If I could do it here, but it's just working with the music you grew up on and the real bands, dude. It's like it's amazing, and you never know who you're gonna be on the show with.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Okay.
I love it, bro. Like, yeah, and we didn't finish the other question before this one, because you said, read the other question, the one before it.
Oh, okay. In your experience, what role does a great engineer play in overall success?
Oh yeah. So listen, I want to add to that. I think if an engineer comes out and listen to the competition, so to speak. Like I was doing that from the start. If we on the show with whomever, when they're on, I come into the audience and I listen and I see how they should sound, and I got to make sure I even come, because if I hear anything that I would say, like, damn, I would have did this, or I would have did that. When I do my thing, I'm making sure I even come just as good or freaking harder, So I think every engineer should do that, you know what I mean? Should come out and listen, and you know what I mean, because it gives them the ear. It gives them the ear. Because you know how it sounds. We did sound check when I went through all that. So now you're hearing your first act. You seeing what he's doing. He might have a lot of problems. And sometimes inside your mind, you laugh like you laugh like, and then sometimes you can be next to the now, I love all my like I'm a part of the unity thing. You know what I mean? I want all of us to come together as far as us, especially black engineers. You know what I'm saying? Like I even try to put together a little group or a union or something. You know what I mean? Where we all work together and make sure each other's working and we learn from each other. Because we know each other on the road already, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I try to do that, but you can't do that. I mean, with some people you can, but Not everybody. Okay, next question.
Right. What are some of the key skills and qualities that make a sound engineer true exceptional in their craft?
One more time.
What are some of the key skills and qualities to make a sound engineer truly exceptional in their craft?
Okay. Ear. Number one is ear. You got to have an ear. If you don't have an ear, you just hang it up. Don't even know about it. Don't do it, you know. Now, if you got an ear, now you got to learn all the techniques to get that sound you're trying to get, that sound that you're hearing. You have to know exactly where to go to tweak it. You know, what plug-in to go to, what this thing do, what does it, you know, you have to know that, you know, and yeah, so this today's world, man, is so magical. You could do anything right now, and you know what I always say, it ain't no rules to music. It's, you know, when it comes to notes and all that, you know, yeah, it's a tool, but it ain't no rules. You know, it ain't no rules. Cause long as it sound pleasing to you, long as it sound good, it don't matter. You know. So.
All right. How do you strike a balance between technical knowledge and artistic sensibility as a sound engineer?
Well, LB told me, cause I was on the road, and you know, I never went to school. I started with artists too, but I didn't finish because they started. It was like, okay, and I'm young. I may have misunderstood, or I might have signed something I didn't mean to sign, and they didn't tell me about it on some sleep kind of thing. That's what it felt like. But anyway, I had an agreement with the thing of paying a certain amount every month, I thought. But it came to a point, they called me in the office and said I owed so much money, woo, woo, woo. Anyway, I just stopped going. Yeah, I think at first I might was paying a little something, but I just stopped paying, whatever. But so, I just stopped going. And it was like school all over again. Doing English and math, like I was ready to get to the board, you know, that kind of thing. So, anyway, I went straight from that to, like I said, at the studio on Peter Street, and that's why I met Larry Blackman, George Clinton, Mars Day. You know what I'm saying? So there you have it, and here I am right here. So you know, and I always believe and feel like you got teachers, right? You got schools, right? Yeah. Well, where the teachers come from? Teachers come from teaching something that something come from, right? You know what I mean? So it starts with something. You know, I'm that something that it started from. I'm the teacher. You feel? You know what I mean? That's how I think. That's how I feel. So you know.
Okay. What are some of the challenges you face as a sound engineer, and how do you overcome them?
The only challenges I face as a sound engineer is making sure that my customer or my client is satisfied 100%. You know, and it's not so much of a challenge, I wouldn't say, you know what I mean? But if you want to say challenge, that's the only thing.
More second nature at this point, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, you know, you want to make sure Because when you come to a point where you feel like, okay, I think I got this now. I'm at a groove with it. I know how to troubleshoot. I know how to do blah, blah, blah. So when you come to that point with yourself, confirmation in your head and your mind, now I can do this for this art, this for that art, this. But like for me, I've been with Cameo 20 years. I've been with SOS Band down there, I think about 15 years. Mickey Howard, I just got on a couple months ago. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like with SOS Band, they got me because they heard the damn show with Cameo, but we was on the same show and they heard us because we was headlining. They stayed for the show and they said, "Well, Kurt, boy, you had that thing." Wow. They talk about that show to this day. You know, my brother, big shout out to Sultan Muhammad. You know what I'm saying? You know, and shout out to Mr. Raouf, and all the gang and SOS Band, Wizard, Wiz, Dominique, Maureen, Kayla, the whole gang, man. Cookie and everybody, can't forget Spike, you know what I mean? Everybody, man. And if I forgot anybody, y'all know I forget sometimes, sorry. But yeah, so go ahead, you can go to this question.
From your perspective, what are the main advantages of working as a sound engineer, both professional and personal?
Say it one more time.
From your perspective,
from my perspective, yeah.
What are the main advantages of working as a sound engineer, both professionally and personal?
The main advantages?
Yeah.
The main advantages.
There's got to be something that, like you work doing corporate work, or versus you getting a job that's kind of like a freelancing job that somebody call you like, look, I need this, versus that,
The main advantage for me is the pleasure. It's the pleasure of, just doing sound, man. Just doing it. Like, put me on the road, man, Put me on the gig, man. I swear, I can't wait to show you what I'm finna do. You know what I mean? I'm at that point. That's where I'm at, So I guess, I don't know. That's the advantage. The advantage is going on the road. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. So I don't know. I don't know.
All right. What advice would you give to an aspiring sound engineer who are just starting out their career?
Learn as much as you can as far as what you're trying to do, as far as your craft. Research it, go online, all that. At the same time, have that ear and know in your mind that what it's supposed to sound like, or whatever you're trying to do. You know what that outcome is supposed to be. You got to have that in your mind, and then you work that with the technical stuff as far as, this frequency is too high, too low, now you get technical with it. But you know what it's supposed to be at the end of the day. That's it.
Alright. Can you describe a moment when you witnessed a transformation power of sound engineering in enhancing the audience experience?
Oh yeah. When I first came on the scene in 2003, around 2000, I want to say 5 or 6. See, from that point, from when I came on to 2005 or 6, excuse me, 2005 6, it was analog boards, meaning there were sound boards, and that's exactly what it was. It's a sound board with, with your channels. It might have been 32 channels, 48 channels, whatever it was, but that's it. You gotta have that, got cables going all in the back to a module on the rack, and and if you want a compressor, you gotta have that on the rack, and if you want a reverb, that's a module on the rack, so that's how it was with analog, and you had to, all these cords had to go to the, now it went from that to, like I said, around 2005, 6, it switched to digital. Now you got everything in one board. You got the compressors, you got the reverb, you got everything in there. Like, for example, like Pro Tools in your recording studio, you can have that board live now. That comes live now. It's a board called the Profile and the D Show, the D Control, all those Avid boards, and you can pull the same plugins, the same Pro Tools plugins on the road. You feel me? So, but it's all different kind of boards. You got your the Allen and Heath, which I love. I love the D Live. The Digico is my favorite board, though. The Digico.
Well, how was that? How was that for you? That experience, having to change over from that analog straight to digital. Was that a big change for you?
It was a beautiful change, because you go from having to have all this stuff. You go from all this stuff you gotta hook up on a rack. Everything is right there in the board now. So now once you get your stuff set, say for instance, like, this is what I do. This is what most engineers do live. We have a USB drive. And now you can stick the USB in the board. And when you get done with your show or whatnot, you can save all your settings. Yeah, now depending on what board you're using, it had to be on that same board. But if you want that same board, you just put your USB in and the whole set. Now you do a little tweaking. You got, because if it's a different venue, you do tweaking and stuff. But yep.
How do you stay updated with the latest advancements and techniques in sound engineering, and how important is continuous learning in this field?
How do I stay updated on
the latest
gear
advancements and techniques in sound engineering, and how important it is to continuously learn in this field?
Well, I learn and get all my updates and all that type of things from, if not my friends telling me about some stuff, then like on the internet, scrolling through social media, especially with the algorithm thing going on, everything we talk about now, you're gonna pick your phone up and then all this stuff is crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's how I find out about other things. And what was the other thing?
And how important is it to continuous learning in this field?
Well, my answer to that is, I feel like what's most important to you is going to be that drive. That's what's going to drive you. That's going to be the force. That's going to be the passion. That's gonna be everything. The spark. That's the spark. But if you don't want to do it, it ain't gonna get done. Then you know what I'm saying? Like one and one makes one, or two, or three, or whatever.
In your opinion, what sets apart a great sound engineer from a good one?
What? Oh, what? Okay, what separates a good from a great? What did you say? A good? What?
What separates a great sound engineer from just a good one?
Wow. Oh, that's a great one. That's a good question because I've been there. Alright, so what makes a great engineer?
I'm pretty sure you had an experience. You just said you've been there. Like when you thought you was good, but you might have heard somebody else.
What makes a great engineer is when you go to the motherfucking show. And that thing sounds so immaculate. I'm talking about, like, it sounds so magical, sounds so loud, and then when the vocals come out, there's no feedback, nothing. It's like absolutely crystal clear. That's when you say, okay, I better make sure mine is sounding just as good as that. Or better. If it ain't sounding as good as that, that's why I said from before, you have to go into the audience when the people on the show you with, you better go to the audience and see how they sound, man. You know. Now you don't have to. You don't have to. You know, like there's been times I couldn't. You know. But I made sure I knew what I was doing. You just gotta know what you're doing, man. You just gotta know what you're doing, man. You know.
Definitely. All right. How do you approach collaborating with other professionals such as musicians, producers, stage managers to ensure a cohesive and high quality sound production?
How do I approach them?
Well, yeah. How do you?
You mean like to conversate with them? Like
well, collaborating. Approach collaborating. Yeah. Like, how has that been for you?
How do I approach them?
Yeah. How do you approach like working with some of your idols and some of the people you grew up listening to?
I approach them with love. I type everything with love. You know, I try to put myself in their shoes, I teach my daughter that, when you're talking to anybody, when you're talking, whoever you're talking to, you want to put yourself in their shoes. That way you know you're not disrespecting them. You don't need to disrespect yourself, right? So put yourself in their shoes as you talk to them. That way when the words come out, you speak it in a way where you can receive it and know it ain't coming from a negative place or a bad place, you know what I mean? So, definitely. Say the question again. See, I'll be answering it. I get off. Like, I'm just going way
I said, how do you approach collaborating with other professionals such as musicians, producers?
Alright, so I was saying, like with love, but also, you have to. First of all, don't approach nobody if you ain't got nothing to offer or you ain't got nothing to bring to the table, kind of thing. You know what I mean? you just approaching them, you know what I'm saying? Like, what sense that make? So now you gotta make sure you have something to offer in there. So when you do approach them, they're gonna be like, okay, yeah, all right, cool, yeah, you cool. So what's up? Well, why you? What's going on? You know what I mean? So you gotta come back with the comeback, or you don't even have to come back. Just come on in with the come in with whatever you talking about, and say, hey, I'm such and such, man. Whoa, and this is what I do. Now, however that happened, how they receive it, that's how I go. So when I'm talking to people, now it's some people that you may not, it just may not work. You gotta know that off the rip. You know, especially like I say, when you come with love. When you come with love, you know what I mean? And when you approach it with love, you know, gangsters could use another word, whatever, you know what I mean? When you approach it with respect, whatever, okay, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm trying to say, you know, and I think it turns out better when you do it like that. It turns out, because, you know, I do believe in it ain't what you say, it's how you say it, you know, because it's,
But you feel like you guys have been more like,
it's a
like
vibe,
more
it's a
like a family.
vibration,
Yeah, it's like a family.
the vibe coming out like smooth and calm, you know, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you share a memorable experience where you had to troubleshoot and solve a technical issue on the spot during a live performance or recording session?
Woo, yeah. Recording sessions. Recording sessions is not so critical. It's not so all of that. But live, man, especially in, you know, well, I ain't gonna say that, but yes, live, when you're doing a service, a gig for an artist on stage, yeah, man, something happens or something goes wrong, you have to be quick and know, troubleshoot. You gotta know what's going on. You gotta be on it. You gotta, you know, period, point blank. You know, that's what makes you a professional. You know, so yeah, when it comes to and you said have I had some times like that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
that you had to you saw something happening and you
it's been some recent times
doing the show.
With SOS Band, man, you know, dealing with patching. It's a thing called patching on stage. And patching is all the lines that's coming from the drums, coming from the keyboards, coming from the mics, coming from wherever on stage. It's chords coming from that, going from the mics or whatever, going to a patch and going to a patch bay. And you know, all the numbers, it should be number from 1 to whatever it ends with, you know what I mean? So, if you got all that wrong and crossed up and pessy, that's another thing. And see, when you got different groups on the show, people will come and, you know, after the show, you know, after once group is performed and they get off stage, now the people go to patching and repatching stuff and mess things up for the next art, you know. So that kind of thing. So you got to know how to be quick on it, as far as troubleshooting and knowing what's wrong when something is wrong.
What are some of the common misconceptions or myths about sound engineering that you often come across, and how do you address them?
Some myths about sound engineering? The myths, I don't know if there's any myths about sound engineering. What has they said that's not true about sound engineering? I don't know.
You know, every career has a mark on it some way about something. There's nothing you can think of? that made you, even if it made you at a certain point hesitate at first, as far as pursuing it like the way you thought you should have been? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I felt like that before. Okay, it's been times I done a show, and after the show, I felt like I could have did some things differently. You know, that kind of thing.
Is it something where you was like hard on yourself?
Yeah.
Or the mistakes you know you made,
especially early in the game.
Even if somebody didn't say anything, you were still hard when you know it.
Especially early in the game. Well, oh man, yeah.
It almost made you stop wanting to do that sometimes, or
early in the game, man. I'm talking about 5 years in. You know, that period. You know, after the 5 years, I started really getting to it. Then I started getting good. You know, but the first 5 years, oh my God! You know, you when you do a show, you have these crews. The crew comes with the equipment. You know, the big sound and stuff.
The tour.
Huh?
The actual tour people.
The tour people, well, you call it the tech
right.
people, you know. Like, you know, I run front house for Cameo. There will also be a front house person that runs with the sound company. You know what I'm saying? And if you need help, he can navigate stuff for you, you know, that kind of thing. But so when you got those great sound companies, sometimes it's like, especially the big arenas, bigger. You don't really have no problems because they pretty much do a lot of things for you already. You know, it's already done. You know, all you have to do is come in there and make that thing sound like full sound. You know, and then you get those where it ain't no big arenas, like a little theater or something like that. Now you got these frequencies that might jump around on you. You know what I mean? You gotta understand that and know how to tackle that thing. And at first, I was a mess. Like I said, in the first 5 years, if I have a good sound company that will help me. But hey, I'm a beast now. Tell you that. I'm a beast now. Put me out there now. Trust me.
Well, I'm glad you just said what you said, because I
mean, think about it. Larry Blackman put me out there like that. Larry Blackman.
How did you? Hey, Kurt, how did you manage the pressure at that time that came with working, you know, the live events? Like, how did you deal with that pressure? I mean, I know you said but it's like, how did you actually?
Like a real man, dude. Like a real man, brother. Because especially, like I keep saying, like especially in the beginning, man, it was rough. It was certain shows, some shows I had that I knew it didn't go well, and I knew people. You just didn't even want to go backstage. Like, you know, like, I don't have them kind of shows, man, and I don't have shows where my bass player, Aaron Mills, big shout out to Aaron Mills, well, he used to come at me at the air show. Hey, Kurt, how it sound out there? And I'll be like, sound good, man, sound good. Okay, yeah. Sometimes I'll walk off, like I'm going out of the room or something. I can hear him dogging me out, talking. Man, that shit wasn't sounding right. And then it was time he'll do me like that. He's like, Kurt, but how it sound? I'm like, it sound good. Yeah, well, my friend that was out there in the front, man, he a bass player. He said he couldn't hear my bass. stuff like that, man. So I went through that, and how I handled it, like I say, like a real dude, man. I just, it's okay, hey, man. For me, and I'm just telling you from straight up, man. It sounds good. Now I'll be straight up if it didn't sound right. But you know what? I have problems in this area. I had something. We'll get it right next time. You know what I'm saying? But come on, you talking about major dollar. But like I say, Larry threw me out here, and I got to explain that to the guys, and I gotta explain to the guy that, trust me, bro, I'm gonna get it. Don't worry, I'm gonna get it. And they, man, like to this day, man, we all family. I love them, man. I love them guys.
All right, what are some of your latest techniques and tools that you the sound engine, and how do they improve your work? What are some of the things you work on now to make your job much easier? Like your daily practice that reflects when you get on the road.
I'm doing sound. I've gotten this new board now that I request for. That board makes my whole world beautiful. It's the Digico, the Quantum Digico, and then they got others too that I can use, but that Quantum Digico, man, it has a sound that's beautiful, man.
And what sets this apart from some of the others?
Me behind it. I'm serious. Me on that board, brother. And but yeah.
Is it something you fully learned already, or you still learning? About it?
It's still it's a brand new board. I can't. I'm not sure how many years it's been out, but it's pretty new. But I'm still learning it. Yeah, I'm still learning. But you know how you go from one board to another board? They're basically all the same, as just maybe different languages, or they're placed in different areas on the board, or whatever. But it's all the same. So I'm still learning in that aspect as far as learning. Where's that? Blah, blah, blah. I've gotten the basics down on it. What's important to get the show. Yeah, but as far as doing tricks and this and that, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm gonna get it though. I'm gonna try to start going online and start, like YouTube, and do some learning on.
As a sound engineer, what do you find most rewarding about your profession, and what keeps you motivated to continuously improve your skills?
Pleasing my client, making sure they be like, man, that thing sound good. Cause when I get confirmation like that, then I'm like happy. I'm so happy. It's been times where I had to give the audience what they asked for, but I know it may not have been comfortable for the audience, but I did anyway. But at the end of the day, it made the artist happy, my boss. So it was good, but you have to find a way to bring it to the medium, bring it to the middle, because you don't want to lose your audience either, What
advice would you give someone who is considering hiring a sound engineer for a project but unsure of its importance?
I would say, it then depends on the budget, depends on how much they're trying to pay. You know, I would look at who they're doing sound for. You know, like I'm trying to hire my own engineer for live or studio. Either or. Okay, for live, I would say, like I was saying, I would look at the artist, the group, or whoever the engineer is engineering for, or I would go to a show, no matter who the artist is, and if they sound that good, then you look at the engineer. You go holler at them, you know what I'm saying, if he that good. Now, recording in the studio, you know, it's records. You listen to the recordings. You listen to who recorded this, who recorded that. If you like how it sounds, then you find out how to get in touch with that, you know, the engineer.
Can you share a story where your creativity as a sound engineer allowed you to think outside the box and achieve a unique and impactful sound design?
Say it again. I got it, but go ahead. Say it.
Can you share a story where your creativity as a sound engineer allowed you to think outside the box and achieve a unique and impactful sound design?
Okay. Panning. Say for instance, your drums. Of course, you know, like, okay, I kind of like to paint the picture like you see it on stage. You got the drums in the back, keyboard, you know, guitar, that's how I kind of like to have it sound, so to speak. You know? So, the drums, you have the kick, snare, hi-hat. You want all of those kind of like straight up in the middle. You know. Now, if you want to be tricky, you can. I don't know. You want to do your thing, but standard is just straight up in the middle for the kick, snare, hi-hat. Now, when you get to the toms, this is where I have a little fun. And depending on how many toms you got, you may have 4 or 5. And I'll pan them to where they're like, say for instance, the drummer is playing tom 1 to tom 5 and he's going, I want it to sound like that. I want to have it going from the left or to the right. So I would pan it like that, you know. So when he play it like that, it's going the speaker. Say for you at the concert, you hear the drummer play the tom, it's gonna sound like it's going like that. You know what I mean? Cause yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now and then you have the overheads. These things, overheads. It captures the whole drum set, and mostly the hi-hats, well not the hi-hats, the crashes. And so, and then you have the bass. You have the bass guitar, and that's usually straight up in the middle. Then you have your guitar. And guitar, you can pan the guitar, you know, I will pan it maybe 2, maybe 3 o'clock, or right in between 2 and 3 o'clock. Pan the guitar there. You know what I'm saying? And then you have your keyboards. And with Cameo, they have 2 sets of keyboards. So you got stereo, stage left, stereo, stage right. And the way I pan those is I have the left pan all the way hard to the left, and then I have the right pan like 1 o'clock. and then stage right, just the opposite. You feel what I'm saying? So, just little tricks in there, and you ain't gotta do it like that every show. You can change it up how you want. I like to go by the sound, especially doing sound check. I'm doing it, I'm tweaking it, and if it sounds good like that, I keep it like that. But you might want to tweak it, Out the keyboards, you have, if you don't have horns, and percussions or whatever. Percussion would have came, but if you don't have anything else, you got vocals, and then your vocals. I kind of like to pan the main lead center, and if you got 5 people, you got the lead boom, you got 2 on each side, and pan it just like that. Pan the one all the way to the left, you'll pan it maybe on to 10 o'clock. And the one next to him, pan him maybe 11 o'clock. But, you know what I'm saying? And then vice versa. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? And that right there, when the band plays, it sounds so beautiful. It's stereo, magical. You know what I mean? Yeah.
In your experience, how does a great sound engineer contribute to the overall emotional experience of the audience? And why is the aspect crucial in various forms, media or live events?
Shit, one more time.
In your experience, how does a great sound engineer contribute to the overall emotional experience of the
overall
audience?
Emotional experience. That's what I want you to say again. Make sure you say that.
Yeah, overall emotional experience.
The overall emotional experience.
Like how is that sound?
Oh my God, you see, man, you asking questions like, wow, it's hitting me. So okay. With that, because I'm in the audience, when I'm doing sound, so trust me. If it's don't let the vocals be too low. Oh my God! Hey man, turn the vocals. Hey, we can't hear in the back here. I mean, oh boy, yeah, you get all of that. So. When you know that thing is sounding right, when everybody is jamming and dancing and they coming up to you, shaking your hand and patting you on the back, you know that thing is popping. That's that great emotional experience for me. Like, now I ain't gotta hit nobody from the backstage. So whatever they say is whatever, because I got confirmation from the audience. And I love that feeling. Don't no engineer not like that feeling. I'm telling you that when people come up to you, man, oh man, that thing sounds good. It's been a lot of times I come to a venue and they have an engineer that runs the venue. That's their home, and you do the sound, and you bring your artist and you do the sound, and they say, "Damn man, they ain't never heard this shit sound like this." I've had that a lot. And I'm gonna tell you where that comes from. That comes from Larry Blackman telling me, man, I used to tell him, man, hey man, we going in the peak, man. It's in the red. Man, I don't care about all that. Think about that. I don't think about the sound. What does it sound like? That's the sound. You know what I mean? So I took that on the road. That's why he brought me on the road, for that. So, and so when I'm seeking for a certain sound, after so many years, you get to learn how to get there. Sometimes you get there quick, depends on what kind of equipment you're using. And like with me, every show I did these whole 20 years down there was a different board. You know, unfortunately, I didn't have the luxury of having to put what kind of board. Now I do. Recently, I do. But, yeah, back then I had the luxury of asking what kind of board, telling them what kind of board.
Well, that comes with paying your dues, though. You know?
Hey.
You paid your dues now, so now you got that luxury.
Thank you, sir.
You know what I mean? At first,
it was a fun journey, man.
They would have looked at you like it was crazy if you would have said that, right?
Right.
You might not have lasted the 20 years.
That's right.
If you would have voiced your opinion that early. You just did what you did. It's like now you're like, okay, this was going to get you that sound now versus.
Yeah. And you know, I think I did voice my thing, but they didn't listen. They weren't trying to hear me. I'm like, man, sit down and do this. And that's what I did.
So I haven't even been here in double-digit years yet. I'm trying to make suggestions, right?
Oh, boy.
So was it a time that anybody, one of the group band members in any of the groups, like gave you a confirmation of the good job you was doing?
Oh yeah.
And when was that like one of the first times that happened that like made you feel like, okay, I'm here for a while?
Man, you know, the last 10 years has been like that's what I get. I'm guaranteed to get them. You know what I mean? For the past 10 years, bro, I'm guaranteed to get them. You know, it's at the point where they know when I walk through. You know what I'm saying? It's like they already know. Oh man, he finna have this thing bumping. Yep. I like to. You know, don't get me wrong. You got to come to my show, man. You got to come. The next time you see Cameo, and you know, big shout out to my big brother Larry. You know, and Big Larry. You know, he ain't like you know was back in the day, and so this health is kind of taking a toll on him, but. You know, y'all keep them in your prayers. But we got Cameo, and then we got SOS Band, and then we got, like I say, Mickey House. So if y'all hear about any of those people coming to your city, man, come to the show. Come to the show, man. Check me out, man. Come to the board. Holler at me. I'm telling you, man. You'll see what I'm talking about, and especially if it's the right. Equipment they got in there, the speakers is great, the sound and stuff is on point. Ooh, you don't have time of your life, I'm telling you.
So what is like one of the biggest arenas you've had to set up at thus far, and what is one of your dream spots that you haven't set up at, and it's like one of your.
We've played in, I mean, you name it, man. The only place we haven't played in is the Benz Stadium. We ain't had no show at the Benz Stadium. I don't think nobody had a show. Do they have concerts in the Benz Stadium?
Yeah, they have them at State Farm and both.
State Farm, yeah, we ain't been in State Farm. Yeah. Not with Cameo. Yes, we have. What am I talking about?
I thought Cameo had a show with
we did. No, we did Mabel House. You know,
okay.
Mabel House.
What area is that in?
And then we did Stockbridge.
Okay.
Stockbridge Theater.
Okay.
But no, yeah. So we did.
You guys went like in other countries internationally too, correct?
Huh?
you guys do international? Or
Yeah. I think this year coming up, we got some London dates.
Nice.
Yeah, we got some England dates coming.
They appreciate, like in other countries, man. It definitely surprises me.
They love us.
They love that. They appreciate the music so much.
Especially the old school.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, the older the better.
Yeah. No,
they
really.
love it. They really respect it. You know.
No, definitely. Yeah.
I love it.
It should be really good to find even somebody that's not even here to appreciate it, be able to get your stuff on. Because it's never about how really good it is how many people has heard it can get to. Like, if more people can get to it, then you got a better chance versus the same thing you see on a regular basis. You know?
Right, exactly. It's got to be distributed throughout the world.
Mm-hmm.
My name is DJ Kurt, and I'm next up.